here. Think they could air condition this place? I'd like to drop dead in court.
Yeah, I never knew they locked that door.
Well, sure they locked the door. What did you think?
I don't know, it just never occurred to me.
Say, what's that for?
Oh, I was thinking that we might want to vote by ballot.
Oh, great idea. Then we can elect a senator.
So what do you think about it?
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
I was falling asleep.
Well, I've never been over the jury before.
Really? I sat on juries. It always amazes me how these lawyers can talk and talk and talk, even in cases that obviously says, you know, guys, there's so much talk about nothing.
Well, I guess they're attacked.
Ah, sure. Everyone's entitled to a fair trial. That's the system. Listen, I'm the last one to say anything against it, but sometimes I think they ought to take these tough kids and smack them down before they cause any trouble. Save us all a lot of time and money.
Hey, let's get started. What do you say, huh?
Yeah, let's get this thing going. I'm sure y'all got better things to do.
Excuse me, do you think we'll sit in order?
Well, I don't know. I suppose so.
Not a bad view. What'd you think of the case? Held a lot of interest for me. No boring spots at all, if you know what I mean. I thought we were really lucky to get a murder case. Could have ended up with an assault case or a burglary case or something like that. And that would have just been so boring. Say, isn't that the Chase building?
That's right.
Amazing. I've lived here all my life.
Yeah, can you imagine sitting here for 3 days just for this?
Yeah, what about all that noise tonight, huh? You expect grown adults to believe that bullshit?
Well, look, you gotta respect that. You know what we're dealing with here.
Yes. Hey, what's the matter with you? You got a cold or something?
No, these hot colds can kill you. I can hardly touch my nose, you know what I mean?
All right, check your lights.
Get a chance to look at the news. Anything new going on today?
Oh, I was just wondering how the market's closed.
Wouldn't know anything about that. Say, you on the exchange or something?
I'm a broker.
Really? I run a messenger service. The Beckon and Call Company. Yeah, the name was my wife's idea. I employ 37 people though. Started with nothing.
Hey, Madam Foreman, we get started here?
Sure. All right, everyone, let's take our seats.
This better be fast. I got tickets to a game tonight. Yankees Royals. Yeah, we got this kid Robertson, the pitcher. You know, he's real good at that. Real powerhouse. Good. You're quite a baseball fan, aren't you? Where do you want us to sit?
Well, I was thinking that we ought to sit in order by jury numbers. 2, 3, 4, and so on like that, if that's all right with everyone.
Well, what's the difference?
I think it's reasonable to sit according to number.
Let it be.
Hey, what was your impression of the prosecuting attorney? I beg pardon? I thought he was real sharp. I mean, the way he drove home all those points in logical sequence, one by one. Takes a real brain to do that. I was impressed.
Yeah, he did an expert job.
Yeah, drive too. Real drive.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
How about sitting down? Ma'am at the window? How about sitting down? I'm sorry, it's all right.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to figure, isn't it? Kid kills his father, ding, just like that.
Well, if you analyze the figures.
What figures? It's those people, I'm telling you. They let the kids run wild up there. Well, maybe it serves them right, you know what I mean?
Hey, you a Yankee fan?
No, Kansas City.
Kansas City? Man, that's like getting cracked in the head every night with a crowbar. Every time they get somebody that ain't worth anything, they can trade it for 3 guys that ain't worth spit.
All right, let's get started.
Kansas City.
All right. Now you guys can handle this any way that you want. I mean, I'm not going to have any rules. If we want to discuss the case first and then vote, that's one way, or we can take a preliminary vote to see where we stand. Well, that's all that I have to say.
I think it's customary to begin with a preliminary vote.
Okay, well, it's up to you. But let's just remember that we have a first-degree murder charge here. If we vote guilty, we send the accused to death row, and that's mandatory.
I think we know that.
Come on, let's vote.
Yeah, let's see who's where.
All right, anybody that want to vote? All right, by show of hands, all those voting guilty, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 for guilty. not guilty? 1, right. Well, at least we know where we are.
Boy, oh boy, there's always one.
So what do we do now?
Well, I guess we talk.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, look, do you really think he's innocent?
I don't know.
I mean, let's be reasonable. You sat in court and heard the same things we heard. The man's a dangerous killer. You can
The
see
man, he's 16 years old.
it. He knifed his own father. 4 inches into the chest.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I mean, I was convinced from the first day.
Well, who wasn't? I mean, good grief, they proved it a dozen different ways. You want me to list it for you?
No.
Well, then what do you want?
Nothing. I just want to talk.
What's there to talk about? 11 people in here think he's guilty.
Let me ask you something. Do you believe his story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
Well, why'd you vote him not guilty?
There were 11 votes for guilty. It's not easy for me to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it
Who
first.
says it's easy for me?
No one.
What, just because I voted fast? I happen to think the kid is guilty. You couldn't change my vote if you talked for 100 years.
I'm not trying to change your vote. I just want to talk about it. Look, we are talking about somebody's life here. We can't decide in 5 minutes. Suppose we're wrong.
Suppose we're wrong. Suppose this building comes crashing down around my ears, too. You can suppose anything.
That's right.
Suppose it takes us 5 minutes. Who cares how long it takes? We all think he's
Let's
guilty.
take an hour. The ball game doesn't start till 8 o'clock.
All right, Slugger, be my guest.
All right, well, who's got something to say?
Oh, not me, not me.
Well, I'm willing to put in an hour.
Great. I heard a pretty good story last night. This woman comes running into a doctor's office, stripped to the waist, and she starts yelling
That's
back.
not what we're sitting here for.
All right, then you tell me, what are we sitting here for?
Maybe for no reason. Look, I don't know. This kid's been knocked around his whole life, though. Living in slums, his mother dead since he was 9. He spent a year and a half in foster care while his father served a jail term for forgery. It's not a very good head start. He's had a pretty terrible 16 years. I think we owe him a few words, that's all.
I don't mind telling you this, sister. We don't owe him a thing. He got a fair trial, didn't he? What do you think the trial cost? He's lucky he got it. Look, we're all grown-ups here. We heard the facts. Now, you're not going to tell me that we're supposed to believe this kid, knowing what he is. Listen, I've lived among them all my life. You can't believe a word they say. You know what I mean? I mean, they're born liars.
Well, it occurs to me that you must be an ignorant man.
What do you mean? What is she talking about?
What makes you think you have a monopoly on the truth?
What are you making a federal case out of it for? Get a load of this.
I think certain things need to be pointed out to this man.
All right, it's not Sunday. We don't need a sermon in here.
Monopoly, for Christ's sakes.
I don't see any need for arguing like this. I think we ought to be able to behave like human beings. If we're going to discuss the case, let's stick to the facts.
I think that is an excellent point.
Yes.
We have a job to do, so let's do it. Now, perhaps if the woman who's disagreeing down there can tell us all why, tell us what she thinks, and perhaps the rest of us can show her where she's mixed up somewhere.
What's that?
Right?
Oh, it's one of the products I work on at the ad agency, Rice Pops. The breakfast with the built-in bounce. I wrote that
That's
down.
very catchy. Right, let me know.
I'm sorry, I have this habit of doodling. It helps me think clearly.
Well, we're trying to get somewhere here. I mean, do you want to stay here forever?
Well, maybe, look, this is just an idea. I'm thinking out loud here. But it seems to me that it's up to us to convince this lady that we're right and she's wrong. I mean, if we each just take a minute or two, it's a quick thought.
No, I think it's a good one. Supposing we go once around the table.
Anything, let's just start it off.
Okay, how about you go first?
No, let's go around the table in order.
All right, in order. That sounds fair. All right, so a couple minutes apiece. I guess that means you're first.
I don't know, it's pretty hard to put into words. I just think he's guilty. I thought it was obvious from the word go. I mean, no one proved otherwise.
No one has to prove it otherwise. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. The defendant doesn't have to open his mouth. That's in the Constitution. You've heard of it?
Well, yeah, sure, I could, but I know what it is. But the thing is, the man's guilty, and what I meant was, someone saw him do it.
All right, here's what I think, and I'm strictly speaking facts here. I have no personal motivations here. Number one, let's take the old man, the one who lived on the second floor, directly underneath the room where the murder took place. At exactly 10 after 12, he heard loud noises. He said it sounded like a fight. Then he hears a kid yell out, "I'm gonna kill you." A second later, he hears a body hit the floor. He runs to the door, looks out, sees a kid running down the stairs and out of that house. Then he calls the police. They find the father with a knife in his chest.
Right, and then the coroner fixed the time of death at right around midnight. Yeah.
Right, there are facts for you. You can't refute the facts. This kid is guilty. Listen, I'm a sentimental to the next guy, but he's still got to pay for what he did.
Amen, brother.
Right.
Well, it was obvious to me anyways. The boy's entire story was flimsy. He claims he was in the movies at the time of the killing, and yet 1 hour later, he couldn't remember the films or the people that played them.
That's right.
Nobody saw him go into or out of the theater.
Listen, what about the woman across the street? No, her testimony don't prove it. Nothing does.
She was the one who actually saw the
All right,
killing.
so let's go in order, okay?
Just a minute. Just a minute. Here's a woman. Here's a woman who cannot sleep. She's lying in bed and she's dying with the heat. You know what I mean? Anyway, she looks out the window and she sees this kid stick a knife into his father. The time is 12:10 on the nose. Everything fits. Listen, she's known the kid all his life. His window is right across the street opposite the L tracks, and she swore she saw him do it.
Through the windows of the passing elevated train.
Right. This L train had no passengers on it. It was just being moved downtown. The lights were out, remember? And they proved in court that at night you can look through the windows of an L train when the lights were out and see what was happening on the other side. I mean, they proved it.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure.
You don't believe the boy. How come you believe the woman? She's one of them too, isn't she?
Oh, you.
All right,
Watch
hey,
out.
hey,
Hey. She is so quiet.
Come on, sit down. Don't let her get upset.
All right, let's just all calm down now. Let's try to keep it peaceful in here. Whose turn was it?
His,
Oh, right, so you've got 2 minutes.
I'll pass.
All right, that's your privilege. How about the next gentleman?
I don't know. I started convinced, very early in the case. Well, I was looking for the motive. That's the important part. If there's no motive, then where's the case? So anyway, that tester from those people across the hall from the kid's apartment, that was very powerful. Didn't they say something about arguing around 7 o'clock between the boy and his father? I mean, I could be wrong.
No, it was 8 o'clock, not 7.
That's right, 8 o'clock. They heard an argument, but they couldn't hear what it was about. Then they heard the father hit the boy twice and saw him run out angrily out of the house. I mean, what does that prove?
Well, it doesn't exactly prove anything. This is part of the picture. I never said it proved anything.
You said it revealed a motive for the killing. The prosecuting attorney said the same thing. I don't think it's a very strong motive. I mean, I can't see 2 slaps in the face provoking this kid into murder after he's been subjected to violence his whole life.
Well, it may have been some slaps too many. Everyone has a breaking point.
Right. Anything else?
No.
All right, how about the next gentleman?
Who, me? Oh. Well, I don't know. It's all practically been said already, We can talk all night, but, well, let's look at the kid for a minute here.
All right.
The kid, he's 0 for 5 because at age 10, he was in children's court for throwing a rock at his teacher. At age 14, they had him down in juvenile hall for stealing a car. He was arrested for mugging, and then he was arrested twice for trying to stab another kid with a knife. Now, they said in court this kid was real good with a switchblade, right? This guy's he's a real stand-up guy, this kid is.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father beat him up regularly. He used his fists.
Yeah, with a kid like that, so would I.
Well, wouldn't you call all of those beatings a motive for killing the father?
I don't know. I'd call it a motive for him to be an angry kid, I'll say that.
It's the kids, the way they are nowadays. Angry, hostile. Can't do a damn thing with them. Just the way they talk to you. You know what? When I was his age, I called my father sir. That's right, sir. You ever hear a boy call his father that anymore?
Fathers don't seem to think it's that important anymore.
No? Have you got kids?
2.
Yeah, well, I got one. He's 20. And we did everything we could for that kid. What happened? He's 9. Ran away from a fight. I saw it. I was so ashamed I almost threw up. So I told him straight up, I'm gonna make a man out of you. I'm gonna bust you in half trying. I made a man out of him, all right. When he was 16, we got into a battle. He hit me in the face. He's big, you know? Haven't seen him in 2 years. Right, kid. Worked hard at it. All you get is. Alright, sorry, let's move on.
I think we're missing the point here. This boy, let's say he comes from a filthy neighborhood and a broken home. We can't help that. We're here to decide if he's innocent or guilty of murder, not to discuss why he grew up this way. He was born in a slum. Slums are breeding grounds for criminals. I know that, so do you. It's no secret. Children from slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society. Now,
Sister, you can say that again. The kids that come out of those places are real trash, and I don't want any part of them. I'm telling you.
When I lived in those slums all my life, there's that trash in Harlem Hospital 6 nights a week.
Oh, now wait a second.
My Greek played in the backyard full of garbage.
Oh, now listen.
I smell it.
All right, now let's just be reasonable. Sir, there's nothing personal.
It is personal.
Come on, dude. He didn't mean you. Let's not be so sensitive.
This sensitivity? I understand. All right, but let's move on with it. All this arguing gets us nowhere. It's your turn, so let's go.
I didn't expect a turn. I thought you all were supposed to be convincing me. Wasn't that the idea?
Right, I forgot about that.
Well, what's the difference? She's the one keeping us here. Look, let's hear what she has to say.
Now, just a minute. We decided to do it a certain way, so let's stick to what we said, all right?
Stop being a bitch, will ya?
A bitch? Listen, what do you mean by that?
What do you think I mean? B-I-T-C-H, bitch.
What, just because I'm trying to keep this whole thing organized? Now, listen. Do you want to do it? Here. You sit here. You take the responsibility, and I'll just shut up, that's all.
What are you getting so hot about? Calm down.
Don't you tell me to calm down, please. Here. You take it. You take this chair. Come on, Mr. Foreman, let's see you run this show.
Have you ever seen such a thing?
Do you think this is funny or something? Hey, take it easy. I mean, the whole thing's not that important. Not that important. Do you want to do it?
No, listen, you're doing a great job. Nobody wants to change.
Yeah, hang in there and pitch. You're doing a great job.
All right, let's hear from somebody.
Well, if you want me to tell you how I feel about it right now, that's all right with me.
I don't care what you do.
Okay. Well, I haven't got anything brilliant. I only know what you know. According to the testimony, the boy looks guilty. Maybe he is. But I sat there in court listening for 3 days while all the evidence built up. I started to get a peculiar feeling about this trial because everybody sounded so positive. I mean, nothing is that positive. I had questions I would have liked to ask. Maybe they wouldn't have meant anything, I don't know, but I started to feel like the defense counsel wasn't doing his job. He let too many things go. Little things.
What little things? Listen, when these guys don't ask the questions, that's because they know the answers already. And they figure they'll get hurt.
Maybe. It's also possible for a lawyer to be just plain stupid too, isn't it?
Yeah.
You sound like my brother-in-law.
I started to put myself in the boy's shoes. I think I would have asked for another lawyer. If I were on trial for my life, I'd want my lawyer to tear the prosecution witnesses to shreds, or at least try. Look, there was one alleged eyewitness to this killing. Another one claims he heard something and saw the boy run out afterwards. There was a lot of circumstantial evidence, but really those two witnesses were the entire case of the prosecution. Supposing they were wrong.
What do you mean, supposing they were wrong? What's the point of having witnesses at all?
Could they be wrong?
Well, they sat on the stand under oath. What are you trying to say?
They're only people. People make mistakes. Could they be wrong?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know so?
Well, not nobody can know a thing like that. It's not an exact science.
That's right, it isn't.
Oh, come on, let's get to the point. What about the switchblade they found in the father's chest? Let's talk about that.
Well, wait, some people haven't gone yet, and I think that
Listen, they can talk whenever they want. Then just be quiet a second, will you? All right, what about the knife? You know that one, that fine, upstanding boy admitted to buying the night of the murder? Well, let's talk about that.
All right, let's talk about it. In fact, let's bring it out and take a look at it. I want to see it again.
You don't know what it looks like. When are we going to get out of seeing it again?
You brought it up.
The lady has a right to see the exhibits and evidence. The knife and the way it was bought is pretty strong evidence, don't you think?
I do.
Good. Now suppose we take the facts one at a time. 1. The boy admitted to leaving his house at 8 o'clock on the night of the murder after being punched several times.
He didn't say punch, he said hit. There's a difference between a slap and a punch.
After being hit several times by his father. 2. He went directly to the neighborhood junk shop when he purchased one of those switchblade knives, thank you. 3. This wasn't any ordinary knife. It has a very unusual pearl handle. 4. The shopkeeper who sold it to him identified the knife in court and stated it was the only one in stock he ever had. 5. The boy ran into three of his friends in front of the diner at about 8:45. Am I correct so far?
Yes, you are.
You bet she is. Now you listen to this girl. She knows what she's talking about.
So the boy talked to his friends about an hour, leaving them at 9:45. During this time, they all saw the knife. 6. They identified the death weapon in court as that same knife. 7. The boy returned home at about 10 o'clock. Now, this is where the stories offered by the boy in the state begin to diverge slightly. He claims that he stayed at home until 11:30 when he left to go to one of those all-night movies. He came home at 3:15 in the morning to find his father dead, himself arrested. And what happened to the knife? This is a charming and imaginative tale the boy created. He claims it fell through a hole in his pocket, sometime between 11:30 and 3:15. He never saw it again. Now this, my friends, is a tale. I think it's quite clear he never went to the movies that night. No one in the house saw him leave at 11:30. No one in the theater identified him. He couldn't even remember the names of the movies he saw. And what actually happened is this. He stayed home, had another fight with his father, stabbed him to death at 10 minutes after 12, and fled the house. He even remembered to wipe the fingerprints off the knife. Everyone involved in the case identified the knife. Are you really trying to tell me that it fell through a hole in the boy's pocket? Somebody picked it up off the street, went to the boy's house, and stabbed the father with it just to be amusing?
No. I'm saying it's possible the boy lost the knife and that someone else killed his father with a similar knife. It's possible.
It's not possible.
Take a look at the knife. I've never seen one like it. Neither the shopkeeper who sold it to me. Aren't you asking us to accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm not asking you to accept anything. I'm just saying it's possible.
And I'm saying it's not possible.
Look at this.
It's possible.
I've never seen There's nothing like it.
Look at that! That's the same knife! What the hell is this?
Now what's going on there?
Everyone be quiet. Where did you get that knife?
I went walking last night for a couple hours, just thinking. Happened to walk through the boys' neighborhood. That knife comes from a pawn shop 3 blocks from his home. Cost $6.
It's illegal to buy or sell switchblades.
That's right, I broke the law.
You know, you pulled a real great trick here. Now supposing you tell us what you proved. Maybe there's 10 knives like that. So
Maybe there are.
So what about it? It's the same kind of knife. What is this, a discovery of the ages or something?
It would still be an incredible coincidence for somebody else to have stabbed the father with the same kind of knife.
That's right. She's right.
The odds are 1,000,000 to 1.
It's possible.
But not very probable.
All right, let's just take our seats here. There's no use in milling around.
I think it's interesting to know.
What's interesting? You think that proves anything?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Interesting. Listen, how come the kid bought the knife in the first place?
Well, he claims he bought it for
Oh, I know. He claims he bought it as a present for a friend of his. Who's Jenny gave it to him the next day because he busted the other kid's knife dropping it on him.
That's what he said.
Yeah, baloney.
The friend testified that the boy did break his knife.
Huh? How long before the killing? 3 weeks, right? So how come our noble lad bought the knife a half hour after getting smacked by the father and 3.5 hours before they found it shoved up the ear in the father's chest?
Hey, he was going to give it to his friend. He just wanted to test it out first.
Let me ask you this. It's actually one of the questions I wanted to ask in court. If the boy bought the knife to use on his father, how come he showed what was going to be the murder weapon to 3 of his friends just a couple hours before the killing?
Listen, this is all just talk. The boy lied and you know him.
Yeah, maybe he lied. You think he lied?
Well, that's a stupid question. Sure he lied.
Do you think so?
You don't have to ask me. You know what I think. He lied.
What do you think?
I think maybe my...
Me? Who are you, the kid's lawyer or something? Who are you to come in here and start cross-examining
Isn't
us?
that what's supposed to happen in the jury?
There's still 11 of us in here that think he's guilty.
Now, what are you going to accomplish? Everybody in here thinks he's guilty. You're not going to change anybody's mind. So you want to be stubborn and hang this jury? Fine, knock yourself out. The kid will be retried and he'll be convicted just as sure as anything.
Probably right.
And so what are you going to do? Sit here all night?
Well, it's only one night. A boy could die.
Has anybody got a deck of cards?
I don't think he wants to be a joke.
No, but what am I supposed to do?
Listen, I don't understand what all this stuff about the knife has to do with anything. Somebody saw the kid stab his father. What more do we need? Listen, I've got 3 garages of mine all going to pop while we're sitting talking. Let's get done and get out of here.
The knife was very important to the district attorney.
Oh, he's a 15th assistant or something. What does he know?
Okay, we ought to get on with it now. These side arguments get us nowhere. So what about it?
You're the only one.
I have a proposition to make to all of you. I'd like to call for another vote. I'd like you 11 to vote by secret written ballot. If it comes back 11 votes still for guilty, I'm not going to stand alone. We'll take a guilty verdict into the judge right now. But if one person changes their mind, we'll stay and we'll talk this thing through. Well, I'm ready if you want to try it.
Well, finally, you're behaving like a reasonable person.
That's right, I'll go for that.
Hey, yeah, let's do it.
All right, and who's next? All right, so pass these down. All right, go ahead and pass them back when you're done.
Alright. 2 more coming down.
Okay. Guilty. 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 Not guilty.
Oh, how do you like that?
And another one flips her lid.
All right. Who was it? Come on, I want to know.
Excuse me. This was a secret ballot. We agreed.
Secret? There are no secrets in the jury room. I know who it was. Brother, you ruled something. You come in here and vote guilty like everyone else. And then this golden-voiced preacher over here starts tearing your heart out with some stories of some poor little slum kid who couldn't help from becoming a murderer. So you change your vote. I think the most sickening. Why don't you put $1?
No, wait a minute. You can't talk to me like that. No, will you get off shouting at me? Do you see him? What does he think he is?
Sit down. He's very excitable.
You bet I'm excited. We're trying to put a guilty man on death row where he belongs. And next thing you know, someone's telling and we're arresting him. Take it easy. You want to see a proven murderer walking the streets? Let him give him his knife back. Make it easier for him.
Okay, can you please just stop the yelling? Now, who's got something constructive to say?
Please, I would like to say something. I have always thought that in this country, a man is entitled to have an unpopular opinion. We can vote.
Listen, stop. I want to stick to the subject here. Why did you change your vote? Come on, why'd you change it?
He didn't change his vote. I did.
What?
Would you like me to tell you why?
No, I would not like you to tell me why.
Well, I'd like to make it clear anyway.
Do we have to listen to this?
Hey, look, the woman wants to talk.
This woman has been standing alone against us. She doesn't say the boy is not guilty. She's just not sure. It's not easy to stand alone against the ridicule of others. She gambled for support, and I gave it to her. I respect her motives. The boy on trial is probably guilty. But I would like to hear more. For the time being, the vote stands 10-2. I'm talking here, young
He's
man.
not listening. He never will.
Well, if the speech is over, maybe we can move on.
I think we ought to take a break.
It looks like we're really hung up here. I mean, that thing with the old woman was really unexpected. I wish I knew how we could break this up. You know, in advertising, I told you I worked at an ad agency, didn't I? Yeah. Well, there are a lot of strange people in the ad agencies. Not too strange, though. They just have weird ways of expressing themselves. Probably just hate your business. What do you do?
I'm a watchmaker.
Really? Finest watchmakers come from Europe, I imagine. Anyway, the ad agencies in their meetings, there's always some crazy character ready with an idea. It's really weird how they always come up with some strange phrase to receive an idea. For example, they'll say, here's an idea, let's run it up the flagpole and see if anyone's solution, or let's put it on the bus and see if it gets off of Wall Street. I mean, it's idiotic, but it's funny. Yeah.
Listen, I was a little excited. Well, you know how it is. I didn't mean to get cancer or anything. What?
Are you in sales?
I'm an architect.
Do you know what soft sell is? Because you're pretty good at it. You know, me, I got a different approach. Jokes, drinks, laughs, not on their ass. You know, I made $57,000 last year selling jam and jelly, which ain't bad for jam and jelly. What are you getting out of it? Kicks? The kid is guilty. Let's all go home before we can get sore throats.
What's the difference if you get one here or at the ball game?
None at all, lady. No difference at all.
Nice bunch of guys, huh?
Suppose they're as nice as any.
Yeah, that loud, noisy guy over there. The one on his house about his kid. Man, the way he was talking. Boy, that was an embarrassing thing.
Yep.
What a murderous name. Think we'll hear much longer?
I don't know.
The kid's guilty. I mean, there's not a doubt in the world. We should have moved on already. But hey, I don't care, you know. If he's working.
Suppose you were the one on trial.
I'm not used to supposing. But you know what? I'll try one. Suppose you talk us all out of this, and it turns out the kid really did kill his father. Then what?
Okay, everyone, let's take our seats again.
Hey, look us. You guys, we're gonna be here for dinner. Alright.
Okay, well, let's get back down to business. Who wants to start it off this time?
Well, I would like to make a point. I don't feel as if we've spoken about the motive.
Okay.
I heard this young man earlier speaking of motive, and I thought that maybe we should discuss that.
All right.
Yeah, well, I do have something. It's probably a small point, but anyway, the boy did have a motive for the killing, like we said, like, you know, with the beatings and all. But what I've been wondering is, I mean, if he didn't do it, then who did? Who else had the motive? I mean, no one just goes out and kills someone
As
without
far as
a
I
good
know,
reason
we're
for it, right?
supposed to be deciding whether the boy on trial is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. We're not worried about anybody else's motive. That's the job of the police.
Very true. But we can't help letting the only motive we know of creep into our thoughts, can we? And we can't help asking ourselves who else might have killed the father. Logically, these things follow. The boy had a good question. Somebody killed the father. If not the boy, then who?
Derek the cheater.
Hey, now him I care about.
If you haven't got anything to add besides jokes,
I suggest you listen.
Just letting us steam. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So maybe you can tell me, who else would have killed the father?
I don't know. Father wasn't exactly a model citizen. I think the boy's lawyer outlined his background in his closing arguments, right? He was in prison once. He was known to be a compulsive gambler and a pretty consistent loser. He spent his time in neighborhood bars, usually getting in fistfights after a couple of drinks, and that was usually over a woman. A tough, cruel, primitive sort of guy who never held a job for more than 6 months in his life. So there's a few possibilities for you. I mean, he could have been murdered by any one of the men he spent time with in prison, by a bookie, by a man he beaten up, by a woman he picked up, by any one of the rough characters he was known to hang out with.
Oh, boy, that's the biggest load of crap I have ever. Listen, we all know the father was a bum. So what does that have to do
bring
with
it
it?
up. She asked me who else might have killed the father, and I gave my answer.
This woman asked a direct question.
Everyone's a lawyer.
Listen, suppose you answer this. Let's talk about the old man, the one who heard everything, saw everything. He hears the kid yell, I'm going to kill you. Split second later, he hears the body hit the floor. He runs to the door, sees the kid running out of the house. What does all that mean?
Well, I was wondering how easily the old man could have heard the boy scream through the ceiling.
He didn't hear it through the ceiling. The window was open, and so was the one
The
upstairs.
voice came
It
from
was
another
not like-
apartment. It's not easy to identify a voice, especially a shouting one.
No, but he identified it in court. Remember, he picked the boy's voice at 5 other
That
blind
was just an ambitious district attorney putting on a show. Look, the old man knows the boy's voice very well. They've lived in the same house for years. But to identify it positively from the apartment downstairs, isn't it possible he was wrong? That maybe he thought the boy was upstairs and automatically decided the voice he heard was the boy's voice.
I think that's a bit far-fetched.
Sister, you can say that again. Look, the old man heard the father's body falling, and then he saw the kid running out of the house 15 seconds later. I mean, he saw the boy.
That's right. And don't forget the woman in the apartment across the street. Like, she looked right through the window and saw the boy stab his father.
That's right.
That's, yes.
Is that not enough for you?
What do you got to say about it?
No, not right now, it isn't.
It's like talking over a brick wall.
Suppose you think about it.
The woman saw the killing through the windows of the passing elevated train. The train had 6 cars, and she saw it through the windows of the last 2. She remembered the most significant detail.
It just doesn't make sense to me, all right?
Well,
I was wondering if anybody knew how long it takes an L train to pass a given point.
Who's winning?
Are you serious?
wait a minute.
This isn't a game.
What is I got a good mind. Who do you think you are? The nerd. Did you see her, the nerd? Absolutely not.
Come on.
What's all over? I want an apology.
Okay, Noisy. She apologizes. Now let's hear what the woman has to say.
Thank you. I was wondering if anyone had an idea how long it takes an L train moving at medium speed to pass a given point.
Well, I don't have the slightest idea.
What does that have to do with anything?
How long? Take a guess. Nobody? What do you think?
I don't know, maybe 10, 12 seconds?
Oh, what's all this
That's a
for?
fair guess. Anybody else?
That sounds right to me.
Oh, come on. What's the guessing game for?
What would you say?
Well, 10 seconds approximately. All right, let's say 10 seconds. What are you getting at?
This. It takes an L train approximately 10 seconds to pass a given point. Now, say that given point is the open window of the room in which the killing took place. You can practically reach your hand out that window and touch the L tracks, right? All right. So let me ask you this. Has anyone here ever lived next to the L tracks?
Well, I used to stay in an apartment that overlooked one. I'm a house trainer, you know. I was there for 3 days.
What was it like?
What do you mean?
Noisy?
Oh, geez, it didn't matter anyway. I mean, we're all up for our business.
I lived in a second-floor apartment next to the L line once. When the windows open and the train goes by, the noise is almost unbearable. You can't hear yourself think.
All right, can't hear yourself think. What are you making here?
All right, fine. Let's take 2 pieces of testimony and try to put them together here, okay? First, the old man downstairs. He says he heard the boy yell out, "I'm going to kill you," and the body falls a split second later, right?
Right.
1 second later.
Yeah.
Right, then the woman across the street says she looked out of her window and saw the killing through the last 2 cars of the L train. The last 2 cars.
All right, what point are you trying to make here?
We agreed, and the L train takes 10 seconds to pass the point. Since the woman saw the killing through the last 2 cars, then we can assume that L train had been going by for a full 10 seconds, right? Therefore, the old man hearing, "I'm going to kill you," and the body falling, would have had to hear that with the L roaring past his nose for a full 10 seconds. It's not possible he could have heard it.
That's idiotic. Sure he could have heard it.
Do you really think so?
The old man said he heard the boy yell it out. That's enough for me.
If he heard anything at all, he could not have identified that voice, not with the L roaring by.
You're talking a matter of seconds. No one can be that accurate.
Well, I think that testimony which could get a human being the needle should be that accurate.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Yeah, maybe they can hear it.
What are you talking about? That's crazy. Why would he
Makes
lie?
sense.
Why would he lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe.
You know, you keep coming up with these bright sayings. Why don't you send one in a newspaper? Pat butt.
What gives you the right to talk to her like that? If someone talks to a woman like that or really gets stepped on, you want to have some respect, man. You talk to her like that again, man, I gotta deck you. Go ahead, say whatever you want. Why do you think the old man might lie?
Well, it's just that I looked at it for a very long time. The seam of his jacket was torn under his arm. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, it's not.
I mean, to come into court like that. He was a very old man with a torn jacket, and he walked very slowly. He was dragging his left leg, trying to hide it. He was ashamed. I think I know this man better than anyone here. He was quiet, frightened, an insignificant old man who had been nothing all his life. Never had recognition. His name in the newspapers, nobody knows him. Nobody quotes him. No one seeks his advice. After 75 years, that's a very sad thing. A man like this would need to be recognized, to be listened to be quoted just once. It would be very hard for him to recede into the background.
Now wait a
And
minute.
there was a chance.
Now wait a minute. Are you saying the old man would lie just so he could be important for once in his life?
No, he wouldn't really lie, but perhaps he'd make himself believe that he heard the voices and recognize the boy's face.
That is the most fantastic story I have ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that? What do you know about it?
People, let me remind you, this case is based on a reasonable and logical progression of facts. Let's keep it there.
Facts may be colored by the personalities of the people who present them.
I'll take it.
Say what you like. I still don't see how anybody can think that the boy's not guilty.
There's something else I wanted to talk about. I think we proved the old man never heard the voice say, "I'm going to kill you," but supposing he did.
What are you talking about? You didn't prove it at all.
Supposing he did, this phrase, "I'm going to kill you," how many times has each of us used it? Probably hundreds. I could kill you for that, honey. You do that once more, Junior, I'm going to kill you. Kill him, Rocky, we say it every day. It doesn't really mean we're going to kill someone.
Wait, what are you trying to get us here? The phrase was, "I'm going to kill you." The boy screamed it at the top of his lungs. Don't tell me he didn't mean it. Anybody that says something like that the way he said it, they mean it.
Well, Daddy, this one time, I was riding with this guy, and he called me an idiot, and then I was like,
Fellas, this woman is trying to get you to believe things that just aren't true. The boy said he was going to kill him, and he did kill him.
Let me ask you this. Do you really think he'd yell out something like that for the whole neighborhood to hear? I don't think so. He's much too bright for that.
You're right. He's a common ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
I'd like to change my vote on the knife.
What? You gotta be kidding. You heard me.
Are you sure?
Positive.
All right, the vote is now 9-3. Guilty.
What are you basing it on? Stories this lady's making up over here? She ought to be writing for NCIS. She'd be making a fortune. Look, there are facts staring me right square in the face, and every single one of them said this kid is guilty of killing his old man. Even his own lawyer knew he didn't stand a snowball's chance in hell. His own lawyer, for crying out loud. You can see it. The kid deserves a needle. And another thing.
It's happened before. Someone's been convicted of murder and executed, and someone else confesses to it a few years later. Sometimes those facts staring you in the face are wrong.
I'm talking to him, not you. Get a load of this lady. Kid had a lawyer, didn't he? Lawyer made his case, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
So how come you got so much to say?
The lawyer was court appointed.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
Could mean a lot of
Yeah, like what?
Could mean he didn't want the case. It could mean he resented being appointed the case. It's the kind of thing that brings him nothing. No money, no glory, not even much chance of winning. You'd have to really believe in his client to put up a good fight. And as you just pointed out, he obviously didn't.
Well, sure he did. Who in hell could, except maybe God come to earth or something. Come on, look at the time.
Pardon. I have some notes here.
Oh, notes here.
I would like to please say something. I have a question I would like to ask. So, I listened very carefully, and it seems to me that this woman has some good points to make. From what was presented in the courtroom, the boy looks guilty. But maybe if we believe her.
Oh, come on, will you?
I have a question. Okay, so we assume that the boy committed murder, yeah? He stabbed his father in the chest and he ran away. This was at 10 minutes after 12. So how was he caught by the police? He came home 3 hours later and was captured by 2 detectives in the hallway of his house. So if he really had killed his father, why did he come home? Would he have been afraid of being caught?
Look, he came home to get his knife. It's not polite to leave knives sticking in people's chests.
Yeah, especially relatives.
I don't see anything funny about it. The boy knew that there were people that could identify the knife as the one he just bought. He had to get it before the police did.
But if he knew that the knife could be identified, why did he leave it there in the first place?
Well, I think we can assume that he ran out in a state of panic after killing his father. And then when he finally calmed down, he realized he left the knife there.
Now, this thing depends upon your definition of panic. The boy was calm enough to see to it there was no fingerprints on the knife. Yeah? So where did his panic begin, and where did it end?
Look, he came home to dig out the knife and get rid of it.
3 hours later?
Sure, 3 hours later.
Now, if I had killed my father, I would not come back 3 hours later. I'd be afraid of the police. I'd be afraid of getting caught. Knife or no knife.
Look, you voted guilty, right?
Yeah?
So what side are you on?
I don't believe I have to be loyal to one side or the other, yeah? I am simply asking questions.
Well, this is just off the top of my head, but I mean, if I were the boy, I'd take a chance and go back for the knife. I mean, he probably figured no one had seen him, and the body hadn't been discovered yet. It was the middle of the night. He probably figured the body wouldn't be discovered till the next morning.
Now, here then is my whole point, yeah? The woman across the street, she says that when she saw the body fall right after the L train went by, she screamed. And then she went to call the police. So the boy must have heard something. He must have known somebody saw something. He would not have come back if he was guilty. No, he would not have come back.
2 points. 1, in a state of panic, he may not have heard the scream. Perhaps it wasn't very loud. Or 2, if he did hear it, he may not have connected it with his own act. Remember, he comes from a neighborhood where screams are fairly commonplace.
Right, there's your answer.
Maybe. Maybe he did kill his father. Didn't hear the woman scream. Did run out in panic and come back a few hours later to retrieve the knife, risking being caught by the police. Maybe all of those things happened, but maybe they didn't. I think there's enough doubt to make us wonder whether he was there at all during the time the killing took place.
What do you mean, doubt? What are you talking about? But, didn't the old man see him running out of the house? What, She's twisting the facts, I'm telling you. Did or didn't the old man see the kid running out of the house at 12:10? Well, did he or didn't he?
He says he did.
Oh, says he did. Boy, oh boy, how do you like that? Did or didn't the woman across the street see the kid kill his father? She says she did. You're making it like it don't matter what people say. What you want to believe, you believe. And what you don't want to believe, so you don't. What kind of a way is that? What do you think these people get on the witness stand for? Their health? I'm telling you, the facts around here are being changed. Witnesses are being doubted. And there's no reason for it.
Witnesses make mistakes, though.
Oh, sure they do. When you want them to. Sure.
Hold the yelling down.
You keep saying that. Maybe what we need in here is a little yelling. These people are going off in every which way. Did hear the scream, didn't hear the scream. What's the difference? It's just little details. You people are forgetting the important stuff. Like all of a sudden, everyone in.
Let's call for another vote.
Hey, I'm talking
No,
here.
there's another vote called for. Now, without taking seats.
What are we gonna get from voting again?
Well, I'm not sure, but the lady asked.
I know she's I'm spending on nothing.
No, take a second. All right, guess the quickest way is to show of hands. Anybody objects? All right, all those voting not guilty, please raise your hands. Still the same, 1, 2, 3 not guilties, which means 9 guilties.
So now where are we? We can sit here on Tuesday and keep talking about this. We're getting nowhere.
Pardon. I vote not guilty.
Oh, brother.
What? Are we all going crazy in here or something? Why don't you pay attention to the facts? Listen, tell her, won't you? It's going to be a damn joke.
The vote is now 8-4 in favor of guilty.
I mean, we're all going crazy in here. Like the president just declared it loved your underprivileged brother week or something. Listen, I want to know why you changed your vote. Come on, give me reason.
I'm good! I don't have to defend my decision. I have reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt, those are just words. Listen, the kid that you said is not guilty was seen shoving that in his father's chest. Go on, look at it, Mrs. Reasonable Doubt.
That's not the knife, don't you remember?
Oh, brilliant.
This is crazy town. We're sitting here and you're making up stories. What are we supposed to believe, huh? I swear. You know, you could be sitting ringside with a Liston Ali fight and tell everybody that Sonny Liston won. What about the old man? Are we supposed to believe he didn't just run to the front door and see the kid running down the stairs 15 seconds after the killing? Or that maybe he's just making all of this up so he can be important for once in his life? What's all this yakking going on here for?
Wait a minute.
And the Royals rooter is like from.
Did the old man say that he ran to the door?
Ran, walked, what's the difference? He got there in time to see the kid.
He said he ran. At least I think he did.
I don't remember what he said, but I don't think he could have run.
He said he went from his bedroom to the front door. That's enough.
Where was his bedroom again?
Oh, it's down the hall someplace. I thought you remembered that. Don't you remember that?
No. Madam Foreman, I'd like to take a look at that diagram of the apartment, please.
Why don't we just have him rerun the whole trial so you can get everything
Madam
right?
Foreman, I heard you.
Oh, come on, what's all this for? How come you're the only one in here who wants to see the exhibits on?
I want to see this too.
And I want to stop wasting time.
If we're going to go through all that business about where the body was found, I don't really see the point of that.
We're not. Not unless somebody else wants to. I want to see if a very old man who drags one leg when he walks because he had a stroke last year can get from his bed to the front door in 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
I'm telling you, he said 20 seconds. What are you trying to distort
He
things?
said 15.
How does he know how long 15 seconds is? Can't judge a thing like that.
He said 15 seconds. He was very positive about it.
He was an old man. He saw him half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything?
I don't see what we're going to prove by this. The man said he saw the boy run out.
Well, let's see if the details bear him out. As soon as the body fell to the floor, he said he heard footsteps upstairs running toward the front door, right? And then the footsteps, or he heard the front door open first, and then the footsteps start down the stairs.
Yeah.
He says he got to the front door as soon as he could. He swore it couldn't have been longer than 15 seconds.
Correct.
Now, if the killer began running immediately,
Yeah, but maybe he didn't.
well, the old man says he did.
Hey, you ought to be down in Atlantic City at the Hair Splitters convention.
Listen, Big Swall, why don't you stop making smart remarks all the time?
Look, pal, for you $15 a day, you're gonna sit here and listen to everything.
Listen, now that you got this thing in here, what about it?
May I? This is the apartment where the killing took place. Now, the old man's apartment is exactly the same directly beneath it.
Right.
Okay, here are the L tracks. Here's the bedroom, another bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living room. Here's the hall. Here's the front door to the apartment, and here are the stairs. Now, the old man said he was in bed in this room. He says he got up, went out into the hall, and down to the front door, just in time to see the killer running down the stairs. Am I right?
Yeah, that's the story for the 19th time.
Now, the bed was here by the window. That means it's 12 feet from the bed to the bedroom door, and 43 feet 6 inches down the hall. So he would have had to get up, walk 12 feet, open the bedroom door, walk 43 feet, and open the front door. All in seconds. You think he could have done it?
Well, sure he could have done it.
You can only walk very slowly. You might have tossed into the witness chair.
You make it sound like it's a long walk. It's not.
For an old man who just had a stroke, it's a long walk.
What are you doing?
I want to try something. Let's see how long it took you.
What do you mean you want to try something? What's this for? Why did the kid's lawyer bring it up if it's so important?
Maybe he didn't think of it.
Maybe he didn't think of it. What do you think? The man's an idiot? It's an obvious thing.
Did you think of it?
Listen, smart guy, I did have to
Okay,
think of
would
it.
you just hold down the arguing?
His lawyer didn't bring it up because he knew it would hurt his case. What do you think of
It's
that?
possible his lawyer didn't bring it up because it would have meant badgering and bullying a helpless old man. Something that doesn't sit very well with you. Most lawyers try to steer clear of that sort of thing.
So what is that kind of a bum does that make you then?
That's what I've been asking. All right. Look, say this chair is his bed, and then it pays off 12 feet from the bed.
Oh, you're crazy. You can't recreate a thing like that.
I would like to see it.
Well, someone hand me a chair. All right. This is the bedroom door. Now, the hall is just over 43 feet long. It'll pace off to that wall and back again.
Look, this is obviously insane. What's the big idea wasting everyone's time for?
According to you, it'll only take 15 seconds. I think we can spare that. Okay. Now this is the door to the outside hall with the stairwell. It was chain locked according to testimony. All right, who's got to watch with the second hand?
Oh, I have.
Okay. When you want me to start, hit the table. That'll be the body column. And time me from there.
Anybody for charades? I've never seen anything like this in my whole life.
I'm ready.
Let's go here.
I'm ready for the second half. 60.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Come on, snap it off. He walked twice as fast as that.
This is, I think, even faster than he walked in the courtroom.
If you want me to walk faster, I will. Punch faster than you can.
Come on, let's get all this kid stuff over with.
It's hard to get
Faster than this? It's chain locked. Stop.
Right.
What's the time?
42 seconds.
Yeah.
That's not right.
This is what I think happened. This is what I think. I think the old man heard the argument between the boy and his father earlier that day. Then while lying in bed, he heard the body hit the floor, and he heard the woman scream from across the street. He got up, tried to get to the front door, heard racing down the stairs, and assumed it was the boy.
Yeah, assumed. Now you listen to me, people. I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my day, but this little display, oh, this takes a cake. You know, you come in here with your sanctimonious talk about poor little slum kids and injustice. Next thing you know, you're making up stories. You start getting through some of these old ladies in here. We're not getting through to me. I've had enough. Every one of you in here knows that this kid is guilty. He's got it burned. We're letting him slip through our fingers here.
Slip through our fingers? Are you his executioner? Maybe you
What are y'all staring at?
Well, I suppose someone has to start things off again.
Does anyone know if they take us out for supper, breakfast or anything?
No, I don't know.
Because I have to home, I really feel this going to get finished with, so I haven't got it on chicken pot. He's pretty sick.
Pardon. Pardon. This fighting. This is not why we are here. We have a responsibility. This I have always thought was a remarkable thing about democracy, that we were, wie sagt man das, notified. That we were notified by mail to come to this place to decide the innocence or guilt of a man who's never before heard. We have nothing to gain or lose by this. This is why we are strong. We cannot make this a personal thing.
Well, if no one else has an idea, I may have a good one here. I mean, I haven't put much thought into it, but hey, let me throw it out on the stoop and see if the cat licks it up.
See if the cat likes it.
Sorry, it wasn't much of an idea anyway.
Look how dark it's getting. We're gonna have a storm. Ah, it's hot in here. Excuse me. Don't you sweat?
No, I don't.
Hey, that's a great idea. Maybe we can follow this one up with dancing and refreshments. Ms. Farnham?
It's all right with me. Anybody who doesn't want to vote?
I say we have an open ballot this time. Follow up the votes. Let's see who stands where.
All right, that sounds fair. Anybody object? All right, so I'll call out your jury numbers. I vote guilty. Number 2.
I'm not guilty.
What?
Number 3.
Guilty.
Number 4.
Guilty.
Number 5.
Not guilty.
Number 6.
Not guilty.
Number 7.
Guilty.
Number 8.
Not guilty.
Number 9.
Not guilty.
Number 10.
Guilty.
Number 11.
Not guilty.
And number 12.
Guilty.
6 to 6.
And we go into extra innings.
6 to 6. I'm telling you, some of you people are out of your minds. A kid like that.
I don't think the kind of boy he is should have anything to do with it. The facts are supposed to determine the case.
Oh, don't give me any of that. I'm sick and tired of your facts. You can twist them any way you like. You know what I mean?
So that's exactly the point this woman has been trying to make. I mean, you keep shouting at the top of your lungs in here. I wish I was younger. That man. It's hot in here.
Do you want some water?
No.
It's going to rain.
Oh, you figured that out all on your own, did you there, Sparky? How come you changed your vote?
Well, I mean,
Hey, you don't have a leg to stand on, you know that, don't you?
well, that's not how I feel about it. It's just about details of how it come out.
Details? You're just letting yourself get bulldozed by a bunch of, what do you call, intellectuals.
Well, that's not so.
Oh, you're just like every other woman. You think too much. You get mixed up. You know what I mean?
Hey, excuse me. I don't think you have the right to.
Okay, it comes down, will you? Think it'll pull things off?
I would hope so.
You know, but it reminds me of that storm we had way back in November. Now that was a storm. The power even went out at work, even though the boss told us for this late meeting. So scared I was going to miss that play. Oh, it was my daughter's school Thanksgiving play. She was the turkey. I drove and I drove. I thought I was going to miss it, you know, but I made it. I squeaked in and she was so happy. We couldn't drive home because of the flooding on the road, so we got a hotel room. We spent the whole next day drinking cocoa and ordering room service. We couldn't go nowhere.
Let's see if I can turn this fan on.
Some rain, huh? So what do you think? It's even Steve. Kind of surprising, isn't it?
Yes.
That business before
before, you know, when that girl was baiting me? That doesn't prove anything. Listen, I'm a very excitable person, but where did she get off calling me a public avenger and a sadist and everything? She's just baiting me.
She did an excellent job.
Okay, maybe she did, but listen, I told you, I'm a certain kind of person. I can't help this kind of thing. I get moved. Well, let me tell you, I am sincere.
Fine, we all are.
Isn't this the goddamnest thing? 6 to 6. It's a joke.
Well, what are we going to do about it? Can't we break it somehow?
All those 6 in there ain't gonna change their minds.
The 5 of them already have. So there's no reason why they can't be persuaded to do so again.
How?
By using logic.
Logic. It's right, Cal.
You listen to this woman. She knows. She's the only one in this room who knows.
You want my opinion?
Go ahead.
I think we should just quit.
What? What are you talking about?
Those 6 in there like they're on some kind of mission or something. They're not gonna change their minds. So let's go tell the judge. For Christ's sakes, we're gonna be here all night. Let's go tell the judge that we're hung. What do you want me to do? Break my brains over scum like that?
That's the most ridiculous thing I ever. You took an oath in the courtroom. You can't just quit.
Why not?
It's dishonest. Why don't you vote not guilty?
I voted guilty because I think he's guilty.
You don't care what happens to him.
Well, no, why should I?
All right, let's stop this.
Well, what does he want? I gave him my honest opinion.
I know.
I think you don't think much of it.
No, I don't.
We'd like to get started again if you don't mind.
What about her? Ain't that something?
Listen, the hung jury doesn't mean anything. They just have to start the trial again with another jury. That's not what we're here for.
What the hell's the difference? A hung jury is what they're gonna get.
Would you please just take your seats?
Listen, I'll tell you what I think. We're going nowhere here. I'm ready to walk into court right now and declare a hung jury.
Hey, I'd go for that. Let's take it into the judge. Let the kid take his chances with 12 other people.
Going to accept a hung jury. We haven't spent enough time in here.
Well, let's find out.
I am not in favor of this.
And listen, you know that kid wouldn't stand a chance with another jury. You damn well know it. We're hung. Nobody's going to change their mind. Let's take it inside.
You still don't think there's any room for reasonable doubt?
No, I don't.
Perhaps he doesn't understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand it? Who the hell are you to talk to me that way? I tell you, these foreigners are all alike. They come over here, running for their lives. They barely get off the boat. They're telling us how to run our country. You arrogant bunch of
You mean you're calling her arrogant because she wasn't born here?
You're damn right. Nobody tells me what words I understand and what words I don't. Move on your goddamn head.
Can we please stop the arguing for 2 minutes and stick to the subject? Now sit down!
I'd like to go over something if you guys don't mind. Listen, an important point for the prosecution was the fact that the boy, after he said he was at the movies during the time the killing took place, couldn't name the movies or the stars who played with him. This woman's repeated that in here several times.
That's correct. It's the only alibi the boy offered, and he himself couldn't back it up with any details.
Putting yourself in the boy's place, if you can, do you think you could remember details after an upsetting experience like being struck in the face by your father?
I think so, if there are any special details to remember. The boy couldn't name the movies at the theater because he wasn't there that night.
According to the police testimony in court, he was questioned in the kitchen of his apartment, while the body of his father was lying in the bedroom next door. You really think you could remember details under such circumstances?
I do.
Under great emotional stress?
Under great emotional stress.
Well, you remembered him in court. He named the movies correctly and the stars who played him.
That's correct. His lawyer took great pains to bring that up. He had 3 months between the night of the murder and the day of the trial to memorize them.
That's right.
Now, I'll take the testimony of the policeman who was there that night when he couldn't remember a thing about the movies. Great emotional stress or not.
I'd like to ask you a personal question.
Go ahead.
Where were you last night?
At home.
And the night before?
Come on, what is this?
No, it's all right. That was Tuesday night. That was the
Year's Eve 2012, let me know.
Monday night, my wife and I went to the movies. We saw the feature.
What did you see?
Captain Phillips.
And the second feature?
It was the Deadly Storm. The Great Storm. Something like that. Excuse me, I've seen that. It's called The Perfect Storm. The Perfect Storm, that's right.
Okay, who was in The Perfect Storm?
George Clooney and Diane Long.
And who else?
Well, I'd never seen them before.
And you weren't under an emotional strain, were you?
No, I wasn't.
I think the point has been made.
Oh, big point.
Well, I think it is a big point.
But just because she can't remember the name of some two-bit movie star. I guess that means the kid was at the movies that night.
No, but it would indicate that no one can prove that he wasn't. The boy may have been at the movies and forgotten what he saw. It's possible. Well, if it's perfectly normal for this woman to forget a few details, then it's perfectly normal for the boy to forget. Being accused of murder isn't supposed to give him an infallible memory.
Listen, you can talk until your tongue is dragging on the floor. The boy is guilty. You know that, my friend? Who's got those cough drops?
Oh, hi, my friend.
You know, there's a point here that I was just thinking about that we've been forgetting. It was the part that went on and on with the psychiatrist.
Oh, don't give me any of that psycho, whatever you want to call it. What a load of crap that is. Filling people's heads with all that junk.
There's a point that I'm...
Listen, I've got 3 psychiatrists with cars in my garages. The whole 3 of them are crazy.
Would you please...
Oh, I wouldn't give you a nickel for a psychiatrist's
Let the
testimony.
woman talk. You can take 5 minutes on the uselessness of psychiatry when she's done.
Thank you. Now what I was going to say was that the psychiatrist stated that the boy had strong homicidal tendencies. I mean, that he was what do you call it? He was capable of committing murder. He described all of those tests, those ink blots and all that stuff, and he said that the kid was definitely a killer type. Am I right?
That's right. I think he said something about paranoid tendencies, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, all right, but whatever it was, he said it. So let's not forget that we're dealing with a kid who's always had murder on his mind.
His unconscious mind.
And nobody else is.
I beg pardon. But it
I beg pardon. What do you mean so goddamn polite about it?
For the same reason you're not. It's the way I was brought up. Now, I beg pardon. In discussing such a thing as the murder potential, we should remember that many of us are capable of committing murder, but we have not. We impose controls upon ourselves, internal controls, so that we don't do it. The most these psychiatric tests can say is that someday somebody may commit murder. That's it. They prove nothing. Nothing.
Then why are they admitted into evidence?
They have many uses, of course. In this case, they were used to add to the impression that the prosecuting attorney was trying to create. We may find if we 12 took those same tests, 1 or 2 of us might have the unconscious desire to kill, or the potentiality to carry it out. But we have not. To say that a man is capable of committing murder is not to say that he has committed murder.
But it could mean it. Listen, if he said that this kid was capable of committing murder,
Wait,
he could have killed,
you're the
couldn't he?
one who just said, and I quote, I wouldn't give you a nickel for a psychiatrist's testimony.
Oh, I like it.
All right, hey.
I'm telling you.
Anyone know what time it is? 5:06. Look at that rain.
Ah, there goes your body.
Oh, shit.
Nice and light. Well, we're all still tied up 6 to 6. Who's got a suggestion?
I have. Let's get some dinner.
Why don't we wait till 7 and we give it an hour?
All right with me.
Excuse me, there's something I'd like to go over. My brothers have been stuck here going around the whole. We haven't really discussed, the whole stabbing and, the down angle of it.
Oh,
It's
come
just
on.
really awkward.
Don't tell me we're gonna start with that. They went over it.
I know they did, but the thing is, I don't go along with it. It's, okay, listen, the boy is 5'7", and his father's 6'2". The difference is 7 inches. Yeah, it's different. That's a really awkward angle, stabbing down something with, it's, I don't know what to do.
Apparently, you're not not going to be satisfied until you see another demonstration. Somebody get him. All right, now everybody pay attention, because I don't have to do this again. Okay? Pay attention. I'm not doing this again. All right. I'm 6 or 7 inches shorter than you, right?
Yeah, hey, I mean, just a little.
Okay, we'll clock just a little bit more.
What's wrong with you? Not too.
Relax. Everything's okay. Nobody's hurt, right?
Nobody's hurt.
Okay, look at that. Down and in. Look at the angle. That's how I'd stab a taller man than me. That's how it was done. Now go ahead, somebody prove me wrong.
Down and in. I don't see any argument.
Can I see that? I hate these things. I grew up
It's even harder.
way too many times. My stoop, the backyard, the lot across the street. Situations were a way of life in the neighborhood. It's fun. I didn't think of it. Try to forget those things. Anyway, you can't use this kind of knife that way. You have to hold it like this to release the blade. To stab downwards, you have to change your grip.
So how do you use it?
Underhand. Like that. Anyone who's ever used it before wouldn't use it any other way.
Are you sure?
I'm positive, that's why they make it like this.
I'm going to agree the boy's pretty handy with the knife, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So you think he would have made the wound and killed his father?
With this experience, I don't think so. I think you'd have to go underhand.
How do you know? Were you in the room when the father was killed?
No, I wasn't. And neither was anyone else.
You're giving us a lot of mumbo jumbo. I don't believe it.
I don't think you can determine what kind of wound the boy might or might not have made simply because he knows how to handle a knife.
No?
That's right. She's absolutely
What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. What about you?
Wait a minute. According to the woman across the street, she
You know, I'm
said
gonna
that she
say
saw
something. We've been sitting here talking and going around in circles and yakking, and you know what? I'm about had it. I'm changing my vote. I'm busting this up, not guilty. You what? You heard me. I'm changing my vote. I'm tired. I'm had it. I'm fed up.
What do you mean you've had it? You're fed up. That's no answer.
Hey, you just take care of yourself, buddy.
He is right. What kind of a man are you? You sat here all day voting no with everybody else because you have the baseball tickets burning a hole in your pocket. Now you want to change your vote because you're tired of all the talking?
Well, look, if you just
No. You have no right to play with a man's life like this. This is a terrible and ugly thing you do. Don't you care?
You can't talk to me like that.
I can talk to you like that. If you want to vote not guilty, you do it because you believe the boy is not guilty. Not because you're tired of the talking. If you honestly think he's guilty, then you vote guilty. Don't you care? Don't you have the guts to do what's right?
Now listen.
You listen here. Guilty or not guilty?
I already told you, not guilty.
Why?
I don't have to justify myself to you.
Why?
Because I don't think he's guilty anymore.
I'd like to call for another vote.
Okay, there's another vote called for. Anybody object? All right, show of hands. All those voting not guilty, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All those voting guilty? 1, 2, 3, which makes the vote 9 to 3 in favor of not guilty.
I don't understand you people. I mean, all these picky little points you keep bringing up, they don't mean nothing. How can you believe his story? You're an intelligent woman. Well, you're not going to tell me you're not. You know the facts of life. Well, for Christ's sakes, look at what we're dealing with here. You know her. I mean, that gal over there. I don't know what's going on with her. All that talk about psychiatrists. Maybe she ought to go to one. Look, let's talk facts. These people are born to lie. Well, I That's just the way they are, and no intelligent man is going to tell me otherwise. But they don't know what the truth is. Well, take a look at them. They're different. They think different. They act different. Well, for instance, they don't need no big excuse to kill someone. Well, it's true. Everybody knows it. They get drunk on wine or something cheap like that. Oh, they're very big drinkers. Smart girl, where are you going? Look, these people are boozing it up, and before you know it, bam, somebody's lying dead in the gutter. Well, nobody's blaming them for it. That's just the way they are. By nature, you know what I mean? Violent. Human life doesn't mean as much to them as it does to us. Where are you going? Look, you listen to me now. These people are boozing it up and fighting all the time. And if somebody gets killed, somebody gets killed. Family doesn't mean anything to them. They breed like animals. Fathers, mothers. That don't mean nothing. Oh, there's some good things about them. I'll be the first to admit that. I know some that were okay, but that's the exception.
Did you know you're a sick man?
Sick?
Why don't you sit down?
You old fish. Who the hell are you to say that to me? But look at yourself. You can hardly stand up. No, I'm speaking my mind and you're gonna listen.
Maybe if you just quiet it down.
I will like hell quiet down. There's not one of them. Not one that's any good. You get that? Not one. Now let me lay this out for you ignorant people. You, by the window. You're so goddamn smart. But you know, these people are multiplying. That kid on trial, his type, they're multiplying 5 times as fast as we are. That's a statistic, 5 times. And they are wild animals. They're against us. They hate us. And they want to destroy us. That's right. Don't look at me like that. There's a danger here. For God's sakes, we're living in a dangerous time. And if we don't stop it, if we don't smack them down whenever we can, they're going to own us. They're going to breed us out of existence. Oh, shut up! Now, you goddamn geniuses that better listen to me. They're evil. They're violent. They're vicious. And they want to cut us up. That's their intent. To cut us up. Now, this kid on trial, we got him. And that's one. I say get him before his time get us. Now I don't give a goddamn about the law. Why should I? They don't. No, I'm telling you.
What? That's enough! Now stop!
How would you like me to cave your head in for you? You silly little bitch. Where do you get the
We've had enough. Sit down. And don't open your filthy mouth again.
Seem to think the boy on trial is innocent, but we're just gambling with probabilities here. We could be wrong. Could be trying to send a guilty man back into the community. Guess we'll never know. But we have a reasonable doubt. And that is a safeguard which has enormous value in our system. No jury can declare a man guilty unless it's sure. We 9 can't see why you 3 are still so sure. Maybe you can explain it to us.
I'll try. You made some excellent points. That last one where you proved that the boy couldn't have made the kind of overhead stab wound to kill the father was very persuasive. but I still think he's guilty of murder. I have two reasons. One, the testimony of the woman across the street who actually saw the murder committed.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony in the whole case.
And two, the fact that she described the murder by saying she saw the boy lift his hand above his head and plunge the knife into the father's head. She saw him do it the wrong way.
That's right. She's absolutely right.
Now let's take this woman for a minute. She says she went to bed at about 11 o'clock. Her bed is right next to the window, and she can, while lying down, see directly across the street into the boy's window. Now she tossed and turned for about an hour unable to sleep. Finally, at 10 minutes after 12, she turns towards the window and sees the boy stabbing his father through the windows of a passing elevated train. Now she says the lights went out immediately after the killing, but she clearly saw the boy in the act of stabbing his father. As far as I can see, this is unshakable testimony.
That's what I mean. That's the whole case.
What do you think? How about you?
I don't know. There is just so much evidence to sift. This is a pretty complicated business.
Frankly, I don't see how you can vote for acquittal.
It is not easy to arrange the evidence in here.
You can forget about all that other evidence. The woman saw him do it. What else do you want? That's the whole case.
More explanation, more.
Let's vote it.
Okay, there's another vote called for. Anybody object?
I'm changing my vote. I think he's guilty.
Sweet. Anybody else? So does Nellie.
What makes you consider this one vote a personal triumph?
I'm the competitive type. All right, here's what I think. I think we're a hung jury. I think we ought to take it inside the judge.
I thought you didn't want a hung jury.
Well, I want it now.
I don't understand that. You said it was immoral to have a hung jury because you were tired of arguing.
I don't anymore. There are people in here so damn stubborn we'll never get this. We'll be in here for a week. Well, come on. I want to hear arguments. I think we're a hung jury. What about you? Come on. You're the leader of this cause. What about
Fine, let's go over it again.
Oh, we went over it.
You have no right to go in there.
Oh, I apologize on my knees. Come on, let's get out from under this thing.
All right. Maybe we could talk about setting some kind of a time limit. The time is
Quarters after 6.
quarter after 6. Someone before mentioned 7 o'clock?
Don't you feel well?
I feel perfectly well, thank you. So 7 o'clock, I'm saying 7
The
o'clock.
reason I asked you, sorry for interrupting you. You made a gesture that reminded me of something I saw.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to settle something. Do you mind?
Well, I think this is important.
Very well.
Thank you. And I'm sure you'll pardon me, but why were you rubbing your nose just now?
What's all this for?
I am talking to this woman.
Well, if it's any of your business, I was rubbing it because it bothered me a little.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it because of your eyeglasses?
It is. Now, can we move on to things?
Your eyeglasses, they make those deep impressions on the side of your nose. Well, I'd never noticed them before. Well, I'm sure they must be annoying.
They are. Very annoying.
I wouldn't know about that. I never wore glasses in 2020.
Did you come up with the optometrist routine already?
The woman who testified that she saw the killing, she had the same deep impressions on the sides of her. Excuse me, just 1 second, I'll be finished. I don't know if any of you noticed, but at the time I didn't even think about it, but I've been going over the woman's face in my mind, and she had those same deep marks. She was rubbing them in court.
She's right. She was doing that a lot.
She was about 45 years old, and she was making a tremendous effort to appear 35 for her first public appearance. She had heavy makeup. Her hair was dyed. She had brand new clothes that should have been worn by a much younger woman. No eyeglasses. See if you can picture it in your mind.
What do you mean no glasses? How do you know she wore glasses? Just because she was rubbing her nose?
She had those marks, so I saw.
So what? What does that mean?
Oh, wait, listen. She's what I saw too. Remember, I was supposed to.
I'm asking you, okay, fine, I'm asking you, what does that mean?
That she had those marks.
She had dyed hair marks on her nose. I'm asking you, what does that mean?
Could those marks be made by anything other than glasses?
No, they couldn't.
What are you talking about? I didn't see any marks.
I did. I didn't think of it at the time, but
What about the kid's lawyer? Why didn't he bring it up?
There are 12 of us in here concentrating on the case, and 11 of us didn't think of it either.
All right, Gloria, all right. What about the district attorney? You think he pulled a trick like that and ever testify without glasses?
Did you ever see a woman who had to wear glasses and didn't? Because she thought they spoiled her looks?
My girlfriend, actually. I mean, I'm telling you, every time I
Maybe the district attorney didn't know either.
All right, she had marks on her nose from glasses, right? She never wore them out of the house because she wanted people to think she was gorgeous. But on the night that she saw the kid kill his father, she was home alone. That's
Do
it.
you wear your glasses to bed?
no, nobody wears glasses to bed.
It's logical to say she wasn't wearing them then when she was lying in bed, tossing and turning, trying to fall asleep.
How do you know?
I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm also guessing she didn't put them on just before she turned and looked casually out the window. And she herself said she saw the killing and then the lights went out a split second later. She couldn't have had time to put on her glasses.
Wait a second.
You know what? Here's another guess. Maybe the woman honestly believed she saw the boy kill his father. I say she only saw a blur.
How do you know? How does she know all these things? How do you know what kind of glasses she wore? Maybe she was farsighted. Maybe there were sunglasses. Huh? What do you know?
I only know that the woman's eyesight is in question now.
She had to identify the boy 60 feet away, in the dark, without her glasses.
Yeah, and you can't send someone enough to die of that.
Oh, don't give me
Don't
that.
you think the woman might have made a mistake?
No.
It's not possible.
No, it's not possible.
What do you think?
Yes. I say not guilty.
What about you? Do you think he's guilty?
Yes, I think he's guilty. But I couldn't care less. You people do whatever you want.
How do you vote?
Not guilty. Do whatever you want.
You lousy son of a... I think he's guilty.
Does anyone else think he's guilty?
No. I'm convinced.
What's the matter with you?
I now have reasonable doubt.
The vote is 11 to 1.
Well, what about all the other evidence? All that other stuff? The knife, the whole business.
Well, you said you can throw all of that out.
You're alone.
I don't care whether I'm alone. It's my right.
It's your right.
Well, what do you want? I think he's guilty.
We want your argument.
I gave you my
We're
argument.
not convinced. We want to hear him again.
Everything.
All the time it takes.
Everything that came out in that courtroom says that he's guilty. You think I'm an idiot? Think you can intimidate me? You lousy bunch of bleeding hearts. I'll sit in this room for a year. Somebody say something. Now, why don't you take the stuff about the old man? The one who lived there and heard everything? Or what? What about the knife? What, she found one just like it? What about the old man? He saw the kid on the stairs. What's the difference how many seconds it took? What's the difference? Every single thing. The knife walked through the hole in the kid's pocket. You can't prove he didn't get to the door. You can hobble around in this room all you want, and you can't prove it. Every single thing has been twisted and turned around in here. The whole business with the glasses. How do you know she wore glasses? The woman testified in court. What else do you want? Douse the whole case. The business about what the boy had. The phrase was, I'm going to kill you. He said that to his own father. I don't care what kind of man he was, he said it to his own father.
know this rotten kid. What they do to you. They kill you every single day. Jeez, doesn't anybody see it? Am I the only one that sees it? I can feel the knife going in.
It's not your boy. He's somebody else.
Let him live.
Or not guilty.
We're ready.
You know what? I haven't had the opportunity to work in a while because I've been doing my own thing for a while. And I want to give special thanks to the Desert Opera Theater for allowing me to work my craft. I also deeply want to thank the folks from Tehachapi for making the drive 45 minutes one way every day. You know? I hope you enjoyed the work. Desert Opera Theater is experiencing a renaissance, and we're hoping that that renaissance will permeate throughout the Antelope Valley. We're on a mission, so join us. God bless. Good night.